Hi there everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this 1500 point battle report between the forces of the Imperial Knights and the Leagues of Votann. In today's battle report, finally getting the Imperial Knights out of storage for 10th edition for the first time and putting them up against the Leagues of Votann in today's battle report. So we're going to be playing a mission from the Leviathan mission deck. So randomly generating the mission, we have Dawn of War deployment. For our primary mission, we have Purge the Foe. We're going to get 4 points for controlling one objective marker and an extra 4 for controlling more than our opponent. And in each battle round, we're also going to get 4 VP if we kill a unit, and 4 VP if we kill more than our opponent. So as you kill more, hold more, 4 points each. Our special mission rule for today is supply lines. So if we control the objective marker in our own deployment zone, then on a 4-up we get an extra CP. So hopefully that'll allow us to get some extra CP for both the Knights and the Votann, who both have an ability to get some extras with their oath or killing the predetermined oath target for the Votann. For the mission, we are playing on the Titans Terrain set from titansterrain.com. So all the buildings that you see are going to be ruins. And then I filled in the blank tile with just a crater so that each of the tiles have something to do with them on them. For the objectives, we have 1 in each of the deployments right down the center line. Then we have 3 in no man's land, 1 dead center, and then 1 each in these larger kind of L-shaped buildings. So that is the mission and the table. Let's take a look at the armies now. For the forces of the Imperial Knights in today's battle report, I'm just going to go through kind of left to right as we see it. So right over here on this flank of the battlefield, we have an Armiger Warglaive with a melta gun on top. Then we have my Knight Warden, or Knight Errant rather, excuse me. Used to running Wardens, but he is an Errant today, with the thermal cannon and a stubber in the chassis. Each of the big knights are going to have one of the rocket pods on top. Then next to him is a Helverin. Over here we have a Knight Crusader. He's going to be the Warlord. He's also going to have the enhancement of the banner of Macarius Triumphant. So he's going to be able to claim the home field objective for the Knights and then move off of it while controlling that. We have a second Helverin with a stubber up top, and then mirroring his friend on the other side, we have another Warglaive with a melta gun on top. So, pretty straightforward, pretty minimalist in terms of the list, but that is what Knights do. So now let's take a look at the Votann. For the Leagues of Votann, we have a squad of Pioneers on this side of the battlefield with the autocannon on top. Then hiding out in this building, we have 1 of 2 identical squads of the Chthonian Berserks with a mole grenade launcher and the double fists on one of the men. Then we have the Hekaton Land Fortress with the big magna rail cannon on top and the bolt guns in the 4, not sponsons, sponsons. Behind it is the Brokier Forge Master, and inside of it is a single squad of Hearthkin warriors with the accompanying Call. The Call is going to be the Warlord, and he is going to have the enhancement that allows him to get back up on a 2-up. And then the Forge Master is going to have the enhancement that makes one of the objectives act as giving out judgment tokens for any enemy units that are within range of it. Then, next up inside of a Sagittar with the anti-vehicle option is the second squad of Chthonian Berserks, again with with the axes, the twin concussion gauntlets, and a mold grenade launcher. Over here we have our second identical squad of Hearthkin Warriors. So this is identical to the one that has the call attached to them. So they have the L7 missile launcher, the magna rail cannon, a meta pack, the scanner, and the Vox antenna. And the rest of them have the bolt guns. Then finally over here, kind of in an empty quarter, we have a second squad of Pioneers. But this time they have the rail cannon on top. And then rounding out the list is my 5-man squad of Hearthguard with the plasma guns and the fists ready to come in from Deep Strike. So that's the mission, the table, and the army. So now let's go to the roll-off. So before we go into the game, or into the roll-off rather, I will say that the Knight Crusader has gotten the 2 start of game judgment tokens from the Votann. That's going to give me +1 to hit and +1 to wound, and hopefully get me some victory points, or command points rather, for when I kill him. Now for the roll-off, we're going to do the blue dice with the Votann, the green dice being the Knights, and that is going to be Leagues of Votann, turn 1. Turn 1 for the Leagues of Votann. We've gone ahead and we've done the scout moves knowing that we're going to go first. So the Pioneers and the Sagittar have just moved up their 9 and 6 inches respectively. So getting a little bit of extra movement forwards here. And then the Sagittar and squad here are hoping to aim their anti-tank weaponry at some of the Knights. For secondaries that we pulled, we have Cleanse and Engage on all fronts. So Engage on all fronts, we should be able to get into at least 3/4. Cleanse, I might just have to do with 1 objective, but we shall see. And with that, we are going to go on to the command phase. I believe the only command phase ability is from the Call, who is in a transport, so we can't do his free give a judgment token out. So that should be everything that we need to do before we get into movement. And after we're done moving, it looks like this. So the 2 secondaries kind of gave me an interesting challenge. Cleanse, I have to be doing actions on these objectives, but if I'm within range of the No Man's Land objectives, I'm not in a table quarter enough for Engage in all fronts. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to not worry too much about Engage in all fronts in this turn and just cleanse 1 objective. So this squad of Pioneers have advanced forwards, and they are still within range of that objective. So I'm going to be performing the action on that one, while the other No Man's Land objectives are not going to be claimed in the case of this other one, or I need the shooting in terms of the Sagittar. So with other movement, just scooched these warriors around over here, advanced up the Forge Master and the squad of Berserkers, while the 2 vehicles moved up to start lining up shots. So we are going to try to take down one of the big knights in the first turn, thinking that if I can take one of the 2 big knights down first turn, I can maybe stem the lethality of the knights so that even if they do kill a unit each, I still should have enough assets to go around. So we're going to get started with the Land Fortress, into the double gun Questoris Knight. So, starting off with the Land Fortress, everything going into the Crusader. Both sides have used R1 CP. So, the Votann have used it on Ancestral Sentence to give all my weapons for this unit sustained hits 2. Hoping to proc that on the Magna Rail Cannon, while the Crusader has rotated his Ion Shield for a 4-up invuln. So we shall hope to see which one of those prevails. So we have one attack from the heavy Magna Rail Cannon, one attack hitting on a 3. Not enough there, and no CP to reroll it. Now we are going to go into it with the autocannon for 6 attacks. 5, and again on 3s. So that'll take one of those out, and then each of those 6s will be 2 sustained hits. Strength 7, toughness 12, so usually wounding on 5s, now wounding on 4s, thanks to this being my 2 grudge token target, but doesn't matter there. Minus 1 AP will take us up to our 4-up regardless. Make 3 fail 1 for 2 damage from the autocannon, and then finally we have 2 twin bolt cannons, so 3, 6. Hitting on 3s, and each of those 6s are going to be 2 additional hits, so 2 extra hits for that one, 2 extra hits for that one, 2 extra hits for that one, and 2 extra hits for that 6. Wow. If this was going into anything other than a big knight, that'd be phenomenal, but c'est la vie. So we are going to be wounding on 5s, rerolling because we are twin linked. For a pretty good spread of hits and wounds. Then we are going to be again on 4s. Save all but 3. Each of those is going to be 2 damage a time. So 6 more damage going on to the Crusader from the Land Fortress in our opening volley. Next up for shots, it's going to be the Sagittar with its high-last beam cannon and the twin bolt cannon into the Crusader yet again. So we are going to have 2 shots from the high-last beam cannon. Both of those will hit. Strength 12, toughness 12. So usually wounding on 4s, wounding on 3s now. They add up to a 3. Yep, and no twin link there. Now the twin bolt cannon. Hitting on 3s. So half and half there. And then 5s re-rolling thanks to twin linked. Just the one at minus 1 AP again. So another 2 damage going through from the Sagittar. Next up into the Crusader is going to be the squad of the Pioneers, firing everything that they've got. We're going to start off with the Ion Beamer. 3 attacks on 3s. So 3 hits. And then Strength 7, so now wounding on a 4. Alright, so 3 of them at minus 2 AP. We'll still be on our 4-ups thanks to rotating the Ion Shields. Alright, so that did save me a wound. Ion Beamer is just the 1 damage, so 1 damage going through from that. Then the autocannons from each of them for a total of 9 shots. On 3s. Oof. Pretty bad hit roll there. And then strength 7 versus toughness 12, usually on 5s, now on 4s. So 2 of them at a 4-up save. Make 1, fail 1. Will be a total of 3 damage. And then the only thing left are the shotguns, which are not in range. So another 3 damage taken off of the Crusader, bringing it down to 9. Unfortunately for the Votann, looks like that's everything that's going to be able to go into the Crusader. So to wrap up the shooting phase, we're just going to do the mole grenade launcher into this warglaive over here. Mainly just to get the benefit of the subterranean explosives. So 6 shots, so just the 1 shot on a 5. Alright, so it is hit. So that's basically the only thing that I really care about. Then on a 6 to wound, nothing. But it was hit at least once. Or wait, nope. Excluding monsters and vehicles, so the subterranean explosives doesn't do anything against knights. So that is essentially going to be the turn. Yep, because the other pioneers are doing the action, or pseudo-action, since action technically isn't a thing in 10th anymore. And then these warriors are not in range of anybody. So, let's see. I cleansed 1 objective for that secondary and then engaged on all fronts. I can probably do that easy enough in my next turn, considering I have the deep strikers to come in, but I'm not a particularly fast army. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of engage on all fronts, go up a CP, and then with that on cleanse, I will get 3 VP as we go into Knight's turn 1. Now we go into Imperial Knights turn 1, and we have gotten a pretty unlucky draw for the secondaries. We have capture enemy outpost and attempting target. So capture enemy outpost, that's probably not going to be happening anytime soon, if at all, in this army. And then the Votann chose this objective in the dead center of the battlefield. So doing that because the Votann want to draw at least one of the knights out, and hopefully that will allow us to get clear line of sights on someone. Also in the command phase, I did my bondsman abilities. So the Knight Errant gave his bondsman ability to this warglaive over here. That's going to give his shooting, or his guns, the assault ability and reroll advances, while the Crusader gave this Helverin, was it +1 to hit from the Crusader? Yes, +1 to hit with his ranged attacks. But also in the command phase, I need to take a battle shock test for the Crusader, since he did go down from 22 wounds to 9. He is most definitely below half. And he makes his battle shock test. Also because of his banner of Macarius Triumphant. That's the name. Couldn't remember the name. Macarius. That objective that he is on is going to be permanently claimed for the Knights until the Votann say otherwise. Here we are at the end of the movement phase for the Knights. So this warglaive is aiming to take a charge into the pioneers, while the Helverins have both moved up towards the middle. This one was able to just barely get within range of this middle objective to take it for attempting target. So because, yeah, they have an OC of 8, so that'll be fine. And then the errant just moved up over here, probably going to be able to wipe out the pioneers pretty easily, while finally this warglaive has advanced. He got a 5 on it to get himself in range of this objective marker. So definitely setting myself up for some good primary on hold more and kill more for the knights. However, 1 CP was spent in the movement phase for the Votann for the land fortress to overwatch into the Crusader. Really, really hoping to get into, or get him bracketed at the very least. So the +1 to hit won't matter in Overwatch, so it'll still be a 6 to hit on everything. Set 1 hit from the heavy magna rail cannon. Close, but no cigar. Then the matter autocannon on 6s. Nothing there. Rats. And then the 2 twin bolt cannons. Again, well, 2 twin bolt cannons. So should be 12 shots on this one. Sixes. And it is sustained hits 1 naturally. Those 2 hits will get me 2 more. And then wounding on 5s. Nothing. So 1 CP spent for much ado about nothing for the Votann as we go into Knights shooting. I'm going to start off with the one that basically doesn't have any other options. So the warglaive, I'm going to count him as being inside this ruin. So he is going to shoot out at these pioneers. So 2 shots from his thermal spear, hitting on 3s. 2 hits. Strength 12, toughness 6, so 2s to essentially kill. Yep. That'll be 2 at AP -4 against their 4-up armor save. D6 plus 4. So yeah, so that will just be 2 of them taken out. Then my multigun, 1 attack on a 3 will be a hit. Strength 9, toughness 6, so a 3 to wound this time. No wound there. So that is gonna do it for that. Just considering whether I want to spend 1 CP for the Votann for Newfound Nemesis or not. I don't think I am, because he's probably just going to have to sit there on that objective for the rest of the game. So if I leave him alone, hopefully that will be fine. Just going along. Next, we are going to have the Knight Errant go. His rocket pod and built-in stubber is going to go and try to finish off this last pioneer, while his thermal cannon doesn't quite have range to the land fortress, so it is just going to go into the Sagittar. So we're going to start off with the the heavy stubber. So we are within rapid fire range, so we get 3 extra hits here, or 3 extra shots rather. Hitting on 3s, actually using my, not bondsman ability, my Lay Low the Tyrant Oath ability. So reroll hits and wounds of 1. So that's going to be a full house of hits. Then the strength 4, toughness 6, so 5s to wound. So 1 wound. Just the 1 wound at -1. So 5-up save. Not gonna make it. 1 damage to him. And then his rocket pod. Yeah, we'll do the... Yeah, so looking at the ranged weapon abilities, see that I should have declared whether they were the missile pods or rocket pods. Or I'm calling them the rocket pods, so that is what I am going to go with, even though it's probably less advantageous for me. So both of them, so the Crusader and the Errant, are both going to have the Storm Spear rocket pods. So 3 attacks on 3s, all of those will hit. Strength 8, toughness 6, so 3s to wound. Rerolling my wound roll of 1. 2 of them at -2, 6 up saves, make 1 fail 1 for d6 damage, so anything but a 1 will kill here. And that's a 1. Yeah, I don't think there's really any need to have that, so I will just be down to 1 wound remaining here. Then we'll go to the thermal cannon for the Errant. So 2d3 shots into the Sagittar for 3 shots. Yep. Hitting on 3s. Reroll my 1s. And then strength 12, toughness 10. So 3s to wound. Reroll on the 1s. Ooh. And that's a 4 there on the base of the Crusader. So 2 of them from the thermal cannon at -4 AP. So nothing there. I don't believe that I'm within Melta range. I am not. So it is just going to be 2d6 damage on the Sagittar's 10 wounds for the big 5. So shaves off half the Sagittar's wounds. Next up in the shooting phase, I'm going to go with the Knight Crusader. He is going to fire his rocket pods, the melta gun, and the thermal spear into the Sagittar, while his Avenger Gatling cannon is going to go downrange into the squad of warriors near the home field objective. So I'll start off with thermal cannon, since this will probably, or hopefully, will only be what's needed for the Sagittar. We'll do 3s to hit. Miss with a 2. Reroll my 1. Strength 12, toughness 10. Bad wound roll there. Just the 1 at no AP. So d6 damage, so a 5 or a 6 will be a 4. Next up is going to be the rocket pods into the Sagittar. 3 shots, reroll my 1s. Strength 8, toughness 10, so 5s to wound. Just the 1 at -2, so 5 up save for the Sagittar. Makes it, so that's pretty good. Then finally, the melta gun will be a 2, which will be a miss. So that'll be all the anti-vehicle stuff from the big knight here. And then 5, 10, 18 shots into the warriors. So 18 shots from the Gatling cannon on 3s. Bunch of 1s to hit, to reroll. And then strength 6, so wounding on a 3. Rerolling 1s. So that will be 6, 5, 9 wounds at -2. So the warriors, let's see, so they will have a 4-up save regularly, up to a 3 because of cover, down to a 5 because of AP -2. So 5s, oof, well, not great there. That will be for 7 of them against their 6-up Feel No Pain from the meta pack. None of the 6-up Feel No Pain onto damage were able to save any of the warriors. So now we just have the leader and the 2 heavy weapons left in this squad. Next up, it's going to be this Helverin that does not have the +1/2 hit from the Crusader. And after a little bit of consideration, I decided to try to finish off the Sagittar. I was holding off because I didn't want to kill it and then have the Berserkers come out onto the point. But I think at this point, I have enough firepower left to kill them off of it pretty well if they do pile out. I'm going to start off with the 8 shots from the 2 autocannons into the Sagittar. Reroll my 1s. So 2 of those will miss. So 6 hits, strength 9, toughness 10. So 5s to wound. 1/1 there to reroll. So 1 wound at -1 AP. So a 4-up save for the Sagittar will make it. Then his heavy stubber is in rapid fire. Again on 3s, reroll my 1s. Strength 4, toughness 10, 6s to wound now. Ooh, wow. Very, very good. So 3 6s at -1 AP. So now 4-ups. Make 1 fail 2, so that will be the Sagittar down. Does he deadly demise? He does not. So that is the Sagittar down, and the Berserkers will pile on out. Disembarking from the destroyed transport, none of the Berserks got any of their number killed or any mortal wounds, but they did go ahead and hide behind this vehicle, or not this vehicle, this pillar in the middle of the battlefield. So the last Helverin to shoot cannot see them. So what he's going to do instead is just go ahead and try to finish off the rest of that warrior squad. So we're going to start off with the 8 shots from the autocannons. Reroll my 1s, and then get a full 8 hits. Strength 9, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. And then that was 1. And that's a 2 and a 2. So 6 of them at AP -1. Going to be cancelled out by the cover, so 4-up saves. Very, very good. So that is only going to be 1 of them dead. And then the heavy stubber with 3 shots, 3 hits, 5s to wound now, just the 1 wound at -1 AP will be another 1 damage, so that will leave 1 of them left in the squad. Finally, in the shooting phase, we have this Warglaive. He's going to shoot everything he's got into the squad of Pioneers in front of him. So we'll start with the 2 shots from the Thermal Spears. Killing on 2s. Rerolling 1 wound, so 2 of them at D6 plus 4 damage a time. So that will simply kill 2 of them. I'll kill the 2 in the back. Then 1 shot from his melta-gun on a 3 to wound. Nothing there. So that will be 2 of them taken off and 1 biker left in that squad. So with that, we're going to go on into the charge phase. So real quick, this Warglaive is just going to go into him. And then the Errant's going to go into the other Pioneer with 1 wound remaining. And I think with the double one, we should be good, but I'll double check. Even with the double one, that was enough to get the errant into close combat. And I think that we can pretty clearly say that with one wound remaining on one of the bikers, he was going to be able to kill him. So that's going to get him a judgment tokens. And then the attacks from the warglaive into the other pioneer is going to be 4 attacks on 3s. And because he made a charge, he does have sustaining hits, so that'll get me 1 additional hit. And then strength 10, toughness 6, 3s to wound. Rerolling my 1s to wound. So that's going to be 4 of them at AP minus 3, 3 damage a time. That would have been enough to kill the whole squad. So that will take all the pioneers off of the table and get the other warglaive a judgment token as we go through the turn. So at the end of the battle round, we have scored a tempting target for the knights. We could keep capturing outposts, but I think the CP is going to be better than the possibility of 8 points, so we'll throw that one away. And at the end of the battle round, we did kill a unit and killed more. Since the Votann weren't able to kill anything, that is going to be a total of 13 points to the knights at the end of battle round 1 as we go into Votann turn 2. Turn 2 for the Leagues of Votann. We've scored 4 on the primary since we only were able to control 1 objective. Speaking of objectives, I can take that tempting target off. We pulled Secure No Man's Land and Area Denial for our secondaries. So Secure No Man's Land and Area Denial, I should hopefully be able to kill 1 Helverin at this point. Maybe? Who knows? So I think I'm going to keep both of those. Hopefully I can kill this Helverin and at least get the small Area Denial. And then with that, I just need to hold on to 1 of the others. Pretty much out of assets on this flank, so he will not be an issue there. But I will try to get onto that objective as well. Other than that, we still don't have the Call's ability to put a judgment token on anyone since he is in the vehicle. But I am going to have to roll a Battle Shock test for this one warrior, who is fine. Not that I really am too worried about using strats on one model. So with that, we will go to the movement phase and get back to you at the start of shooting. Halfway through the movement phase, and we are declaring Overwatch. So the Land Raider has moved forward, and the Knight Crusader is going to try to strip some wounds off of it in the effort to take some of the biggest anti-vehicle guns off of the table, or at least some of the most effective anti-vehicle guns. So I'm going to start off with the thermal cannon. So it's going to be 2d3 shots. So 3 shots there. 1 shot here is going to be 6s to hit. Uh-oh. That's not good for the Votann. That's going to be Strength 12 versus Toughness 12. Alright, so both of those will not wound, thankfully. And then the Rocket Pod, 3 attacks on 6s. Nothing there. Ooh, so pretty good there. The Melt-A-Gun misses there, and then it's just the Avenger Gatling. Although I say just the Avenger Gatling, even 18 anti-vehicle shots could probably get pretty lucky and chip a few wounds off of this. So 18 of them on 6s. So I have 3 of them, and then a whole bunch of 1s to reroll. Ooh, pick up 2 more 6s. Strength 6, Toughness 12, 6s to wound. Nothing. So a close thing for the land fortress with 2 possible hits from the melted cannon, or the thermal cannon rather, but we are good to continue moving. In the shooting phase, we're going to start off with the big guns yet again. We are going to go with the land fortress, and the land fortress is going to be doing a little bit of split firing. The heavy magna rail cannon is going to go into this Helverin, while everything else is going to go into the Crusader. So the Crusader probably isn't going to rotate his ion shields, and I don't think that Helverin in the middle is going to either. So I'm going to choose to not rotate my ion shields, keeping that CP. So I'm going to start off with the 6 shots from the twin bolt cannon. So this is going to be... Yep, I'm going to spend a CP on the same thing that I did last turn for the land fortress. I'm going to do Ancestral Sentence to give all my shot sustained hits 2. So there's going to be 6 shots from the twin bolt cannon. Oof, wow, that is horrible. So that is going to be a whole bunch of misses. I don't know why the 6 is still there, but at least one of them explodes. So strength 6, toughness 12, so 5s re-rolling. So just the one at -1 AP, so a 4-up for the Crusader. He will take another 2 damage. Now the 6 shots from the Matter autocannon. So that will be all but 1 hit. And then sustained hits 2 on the autocannon. Now we will be wounding on normally 5, so 4s. So we have 3 of them from the Matter autocannon, or 4 of them at the autocannon at -1. 4 saves will make them all. That will be the Crusader done with his shots. Now we will go to the Helverin, the shot into the Helverin rather. So 1 shot on a 3, and a 6 is exactly what we were hoping for. So that 1 shot is going to be 3 hits with a Magna Rail Cannon, strength 18, toughness 10, so 3s to wound since he only has the 1 on him. Yikes. I'm going to have to spend a CP to try to reroll one of those, I think. I really don't have any other good anti-vehicle shots left. And a 2 again. Yikes. Next up, I'm going to do the squad of warriors. Everything that they've got is going to go into the Crusader. Still trying to take him out. And because they disembark from the land fortress, I'm going to get to reroll my wounds. So I'm going to start off with all of the Autok pattern bolters on 3s. And I also have the call in here. So that gives them lethal hits. So that is going to mean that any 6s that I had, which I don't have any of, would have been automatic wounds. So now we are going to, here we are. Do 5s re-rolling because of our judgment token and the disembarkation rule for the land fortress. So pretty good there. So we've got a whole bunch of 3-up saves for the Crusader. There we go. So that is a pretty bad roll on his part. That is going to be 4 more wounds taken on the Crusader. So we got the Crusader down to 3 wounds. let's see if we can continue to do anything with it. So we're going to go with the missile launcher now with his focused attack. So 1 attack on a 3. Misses. Great. And then his magna rail rifle on a 4. Ugh, misses again. So that is going to be all the squad there. Then the call with his Vulcanite disintegrator. Going to go into him as well. So 3 attacks on 2s. Good. Strength 5. So usually wounding on 6s. Now we're wounding on 5s. Rerolling. Alright, so no wounds there. Nothing there. So we were able to take him down to 3. That is going to be the warrior squad done. So probably the last good shots into the Crusader. We're going to have 1 magna rail shot from this warrior into the Crusader. He's going to hit on a 3 since of heavy, improving my ballistic skill, and +1 to hit from the judgment token. So I do get a hit. And then strength 12, toughness 12, so this will be on a 3. Makes it. And then a 5-up invuln, or the Crusader goes down to D3 plus 3 damage. Alright, so that was close, but no cigar there. Finally, for the shooting phase, we did the mole grenade launcher from the squad off camera. Didn't get any hits into the Helverin. And then our last shots of import are going to be the Hearthguard here with 5 plasma gun shots and the grenade launchers all going into this. Or actually, no, you know what? I'm going to do the plasma shots there. And then the grenade launchers are just going to go and try to finish off the Crusader. Probably not going to do anything, but might as well try. And I spent 1 CP for the Knights to rotate on the Warglaive so that the plasma gunners hopefully don't kill him. So we do hit on 2s. And then strength 8, toughness 10, 5s to wound. Ooh, pretty good there. So 3 wounds at his now 4-up invulnerable save will be nothing. So 2 ACP wasted and 6 damage going through to the Warglaive, cutting him down to half. Rolled up 20 shots for the grenade launchers, and I definitely am not within 18 inches, so I'm just going to pour those 20 shots from the grenade launchers into that same Warglaive. So, 20 shots on 2s. So, oof. Lots of 1s. And then 6s to wound. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds at no AP. So 4 3-up saves. We'll take another 2, bringing him down to 4 wounds remaining. So, we are definitely not looking as good as I was hoping. I was hoping the Crusader and at least one of the Armigers would be dead by the time we got into the charge and fight phase, but alas, no go. So we are gonna have to hope that the close combat can do it. I'm gonna go into the Hearthguard. I'm gonna do their 9-inch charge into the Warglaive. Really needing this one. Nope, of course not. And no chance to reroll there. And then the Berserks into the Helverin on a 7 will most definitely get them all into close combat. I actively do not want them to go too far, because I need to stay within 6 inches of the center. So, just the 1 close combat, because the warriors and the land fortress obviously aren't going to go charging into melee with anybody. So, the Berserkers into the Helverin. going with the heavy plasma axe strikes. So hitting on 2. So thankfully just 1 miss. And then here's the hard part with a strength 6 and a toughness 10. 5s to wound. So we have 4 wounds at minus 2 AP. For 5 saves. Make 1 of them. And then fail 3. That's going to be 2 damage a time for 6 wounds done onto him. Then the twin concussion gauntlet. 4 attacks on 3s. 3 hits for strength 9, toughness 10, so 5s again. Nothing. So that is going to again be half of a armor gird done. Now we're going to go into the 4 attacks from the armored feat of the Helverin on 3s and strength 6, so on 3s. So just 1 wound, no AP. So a 6-up armor save makes it. So no damage done there. But that is not going to be a particularly impressive display from the Votann. We do get Secure No Man's Land for the 5 points because we control 2 of the 3 No Man's Land objectives. But with Area Denial, I don't think I am going to have the 1 squad that's in the middle for much longer, so I'm going to throw away Area Denial to get myself a CP as we go into Imperial Knights, turn 2. Turn 2 for the Imperial Knights, and the mission rule supply lines finally came into effect. We did get another CP for the Imperial Knights. We're also up to 17 thanks to controlling an objective marker, so 4 more on the primary there. In our secondaries, we have Overwhelming Force and Storm Hostile Objective, so we are most definitely going to be able to achieve that with some hopefully easy options of models to kill off of objectives. So we are looking pretty good for the Knights, with it being my turn 2 and all of them still being on the field, and only the Crusader being bracketed. It looks like the Votann might not be able to do it, which I'm not surprised of, seeing what I've seen for Knights and Votann. Looks like Knights are pretty high on the rankings and Votann are pretty low, so perhaps I should have expected this. But the Crusader does need to take a leadership check, and he is fine. Everybody else is at half wounds or above. So now we are going to get moving and come back to you in the shooting phase. So, just moving on up with just about everybody for the Knights. So, clearing out this table quarter, just kind of slowly converging on the Votann's presence. I did forget that this Warglaive was left on 4 wounds, not 6 wounds, so he did take a battle shock test and is battle shocked. That's not nothing for the Votann, however, I don't think it's going to be enough to save the Berserkers. So we are going to go ahead and go into the Berserkers with Warglaive. So we're going to start off with the Thermal Spear on 4s. Right, so nothing there. And then the Melt-A-Gun, rerolling my hits at 1. Nothing there, so he doesn't do anything at the very least. And then the next shots that we are going to take are going to go from the Crusader. The Crusader is just going to go and try to get our oath. So everything that he's got is going to go into the squad of warriors with the call attached. So we're going to start off with the Avenger Gatling Cannon on 4s, since I am down very, very low. Rerolling my 1s. So taking out all my 2s and 3s now. Then strength 6, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. Rerolling my 1s. So this is going to be 6 of them at -2 AP, which will bring them up to the 5-up, feel no pain, thanks to the rampart crest of the call. So 5-ups. We're slow going, so that saves 2 of them. And then 2 damage apiece, so I still have my 6-up, feel no pain. So 3 of them die. 4 of them die. So 4 of the warriors are dead from that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we will do the rocket pod on 4s. So just the one at a 3 to wound. Nothing. Multi-gun. Misses, and then 2d3, so 3 plus 1 shots on 4s. 3 hits, 2s, 5-up, feel no pain. We'll take one of them. And then each of them is going to be 66 plus 6 damage, so I think I will just call that squad good, or those 2 individuals good. But that is only half the squad, or a little bit more than half the squad gone. Now we're going to go in with the Helverin into the Berserks on the No Man's Land objective in the middle. We're going to start off with 8 shots on 4s from the autocannons. These 2 big guns never tire, get to shoot, but half of them will miss. Strength 9, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. 2 wounds at -1 AP. We'll ignore their 6-up save. And then feel no pain on 5s. 1 dead, 2 dead. So 2 of them dead from that. We'll take, just take 2 of them from the back. And then the heavy stubber is most definitely in rapid fire range on 4s. And then 5s to wound. 1 wound onto one of the berserkers. We'll go there. Next up, we're going to go with this Helverin that got the +1 to hit bondsman ability from the Crusader. So he's going to go everything into the squad from, or with the call inside of it. So 8 shots hitting on 2s. Strength 9, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. Will be a total of 5 wounds at -1. So 5-up saves on the warriors. And I guess I technically have to do this 4 at a time, so there's only 4 warriors left. So 5-up saves. Wow. 5-up saves. Nope. So 1 of them goes through with the 6-up feel no pain. 1 of them will die. So very, very good save there. And the heavy stubber with rapid fire will be 6 hits. 5s to wound. Just the 1 wound at a 5-up. And then a 6-up feel no pain. Nope, we'll kill another one. And we'll kill the guy with the metapack at that point. Next up is going to be the Knight Errant. The Errant is going to fire his Stubber and the Rocket Pod into that lone warrior just to take him off the board, while the Thermal Cannon is going to go ahead into the squad of the Iron Master. We're going to start with the Iron Master's squad, so 2d3 plus 1 shots. So a total of 4 shots on 3s. So that's going to be 3 wounds at strength 12, toughness 5, so 2s to kill. I'll take 3 of them out, and I'll just have those be the 3 Ironkin assistants. So they are gone. Then the Rocket Pod, 3 attacks into that 1 warrior. 3 hits. And then 2 wounds at, let's see, minus 2 AP, and he's in cover. That is going to be 2 5-up saves. Make 1, fail 1, so that will kill the last warrior in that squad. Finally, for the shooting phase, we're going to have this last Warglaive go into the Berserkers right in front of him. So 2 shots from his Thermal Spears on 4s. And 1 to reroll. So 1 hit from the Thermal Spear on a 2 to wound. Nope. Well, whoop. Had 2 dice in my hand. Alright, so that's 1 of them at d6 plus 4 damage, so at least 5. Alright, so 5 damage at a 5-up feel no pain. Tries but fails. That'll be 1 of them taken off the board. Then his multi-gun on a 4. Wounds for d6 plus 2 damage. For 6 damage. Yep, we'll kill another 1 of them. So that Warglaive did it for the shooting phase. Now we're going to go into the charge phase, or we went through the charge phase. The Crusader went into this Chthonian Berserker squad, and this Warglaive into this Berserker squad. We're going to go with the Warglaive first, with 8 attacks from his sweep on 4s. Miss 2. And then strength 8, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. 5 of them at minus 2 AP, 1 damage a time. We'll just go to their 5-up feel no pain. That'll make 3, fail 2. So that will be 1 of the Berserkers gone. Does he get to fight even though he's destroyed? He does not. So that'll take him off. And then the Crusader with his 4 attacks from his feet. On 4s. Strength 8, toughness 5, so 3s to wound. Reroll my 1. 2 of them at minus 1 AP. 2 damage a time. So 1 dies and 2 die. Or actually, no, 1 will die and then 1 will be left on 1 wound. And then with that, it'll be the fight back phase. So what the Berserkers are going to put everything that they've got into the Crusader now. We're going to start off with the Twin Concussion Gauntlet attacks on 4s. Ugh, jeepers. That's not good. And, or well, yeah, on 3s, but even then. And then 3 attacks from the Strike of the Plasma Axe on 2s. Alright. Strength 6, so usually on 6s, now on 5s. Alright, that's pretty good. So 2 of them at a 5-up save. If I fail both of these, this is the Crusader finally dead. Make 1, fail 1, so the Crusader is left on 1 wound remaining. Going through the rest of the turn and scoring it up for the Knights. We were able to do another 2 damage to this Warglaive right over here, but the Knights are running away with points, going up to 30. 8 points for killing and killing more than the Votann did, and 5 points for storming hostile objective. Overwhelming force I did not achieve, but I'm going to keep that one since I've got plenty of Knights and plenty of positions to get at least one of them killed off of an objective. So with that, we are going to go to battle round 3 with the Leagues of Votann as they try to do their best to get back into this game. Turn 3 with the Leagues of Votann. We did get 4 points since we still technically control our home objective because I had warriors on it. And we have defend stronghold and extend battle lines. So if I am able to get a no man's land objective, I'll get extend battle lines. And if nobody comes back here to mess up my home objective, I'll get defend stronghold at least. That should hopefully be some secondaries I can score. In the command phase, the call put a judgment token on this Helverin. So now literally all of the Knights have at least 1 token on them. As we go into movement, we're going to see what we can scrounge up. At the end of movement and beginning of shooting, here's how we're looking with 2 CP spent for the Votann. These Berserkers fell back, and I spent 1 CP on ordered retreat so they can charge back into the fight. The Ironmaster and his remaining assistant just moved up a little bit, while the Call and the Land Fortress stayed still. And then finally, the Hearthguard are moving up closer towards this Warglaive. We've also spent the CP on Ancestral Sentence for the Land Fortress. The Land Fortress is going to send all of its small shots into the Big Knight, and then its Magna Rail Cannon is going to go into this Helverin right here. Not going to rotate Ion Shields yet, so we're going to do 6 shots from the 2 twin bolt cannons. On, let's see, it stayed still, so 3s, won't do anything there. Then 6s will be an additional hit. Strength 6, so on 5s, re-rolling. So 3 so far. So just the 3, unfortunately. AP -1. 4 up saves. And failed too, so that is finally going to be the Crusader taken down. And then does he Deadly Demise D6? He does not. And now we go into the Heavy Magna Rail Cannon. So did stay still, so this is going to be hitting on a 2. Thankfully I stood still. And Strength 18, Toughness 10, so now wounding on a 2. Wounds right there. And then -4 will go right on through to the Invulnerable save. Nope. For D6 plus 6 damage. For a big 12 damage. So that takes out Helverin in 1 shot. So Votann might be in this. Probably not, but he might be. He does not go boom, unfortunately. Or well, fortunately for the Votann at this point. So that is 2 Knights done by the Land Fortress finally starting to pull its weight. So now what we're going to do, the Call and his 2 remaining warriors are going to fire on into the Helverin. So we're going to start off with the, let's start off with the Magna Rail Rifle. So on a 3, since I stood still and it's heavy. So that'll be a hit. Strength 12, toughness 10. So on a 2 to wound, makes it. Yeah. And then I will rotate my on shields for this guy just to try to keep him alive. This will be a 4-up invuln save. Doesn't make it. For D3 plus 3 damage. For the big 5, takes him down to 1. As I start messing up the battlefield. Focus missile launcher will hit. And then on a 4 to wound. Not going to wound there, unfortunately. And finally, it'll just be the Vulcanite Disintegrator from the call. And let's see, what's that unit. So he is leading a unit, so that's a lethal hit. 5 to wound, or 5s to wound. So 2 wounds at no AP. So 2 3-up saves. Make both of those. So we finished up with shooting, and in the charge phase, I did Overwatch with this Helverin, who was actually able to take a Berserker out of the squad as they charged in. So now it's just the guy with the double fists ready to attack him. And then the Hearthguard are going to go into that Warglaive. Now we are going to go into, we'll start with the Concussion Hammer from the Hearthguard leader on a 3, since it is +1 to hit. So 2 hits at 4s to wound, as I drop the die again. So just 1 at -1 AP. So 4-up save for the Warglaive, not going to make it. And the hammer is 3 damage. So does he go boom? He does not. And finally, we have the Twin Concussion Gauntlet. So 4 attacks on 3s. So just the 2. Strength 9. So 4s to wound rerolling. So 2 wounds at -1. So 4-ups. I need to pass both of these. I do not pass both of those. Yeah, I'll try to reroll this. Alright, so 1 CP spent to make the Helverin stay alive. And 4 attacks on 4s, since I'm solo wounds. Will be 2 wounds, or 2 hits at 3s to wound. So 1 wound. Will not go through, so going down to 1 CP left for the Knights, and that'll do it. So we have gotten Extend Battle Lines, and we're working on Defend Stronghold, so that will score 5 victory points, bringing the Votann up to 23, and hopefully keeping them in this game as they kill half the Knights on the table. Top of turn 3 for the Imperial Knights, and we scored it up 8 points for the primary, since I still control 3. I control my home one. I have more OC here in the middle, and this Warglaive still just kind of hanging around, not doing much for the rest of the game on that objective. My secondaries still have overwhelming force, and now I need to cleanse. So it looks like that Warglaive is going to get me a couple points right there. As we continue on, I will try to see what I can do. So, real quick battle shock test for the Helverin. He's fine. So that we are going to go through a very quick movement phase. And by short movement phase, I meant it. I only had the 1 model to move with the Errant. So he's just moving up, kind of getting towards the rest of the Votann lines. And then the Helverin stayed still. The Warglaive is just going to stay over there and cleanse that objective. So we are ready to get shooting. And I'm going to go with the Errant. All his anti-armor is going to go into the tank, while his heavy stubber is going to try to pick off at least the assistant in the Iron Master's squad. So, found the Iron Master's card first, so we'll go with the... I can actually get these. There we go. Go with the heavy stubber. So 6 attacks on 3s. So that's a 2. And the 1 we re-roll into a miss. Heavy stubber is strength 4, toughness 5. So 5 to wound. Just the 1. Yep, just the 1. At -1. So a 5-up save. Makes it. Then we'll have the thermal cannon go into the land fortress. There we are. So it's stuff up. So a total of 3 shots on 3s. So 2 hits, strength 12, toughness 12, so 4s. At -4 AP. Doesn't have any ability there, so 6-up saves. Fail 1 and fail 2. Yeah, it's a 6-up, but what else? Yeah, I'll spend a CP to reroll one of those, because why not? Nope. So down a CP, and that is going to be 2d6 damage to the land fortress. And I'll spend a CP as well to try to reroll that into a little bit better wounds. There we are. So 9 wounds into the land fortress and a CP spent on both sides. So 9 wounds down, 7 remaining, and we have the rocket pod still. So we are going to be hitting on 3s. All right, 3 hits. Strength 8, toughness 12, so 5s. Nothing. So that will be it for his shooting. Now we're going to go into the Helvrin, into the Lone Berserker. So 4 and 8 shots on 4s. So 2 of them. 3 of them on 3s. Goes right through to his armor save. So that is going to be 9 damage on a single 2-wound model. So that is going to be him finally wiped out. And that gets me at least 3 points on overwhelming force. I don't particularly think there's anything too much that I need to do. I'll declare a charge of the errant into the Iron Master. If I get really, really high, I'll check if I make it. If I'm definitely not within 3, that is definitely going to be the turn. That's going to be 3 points for overwhelming force, bringing me up to 41. And then cleanse. I cleanse 1 objective for another 3. So that brings me up to 44 points to the Knights at the end of battle round 3. Turn 4 with the Leagues of Votann. We're staying in it pretty well. We have 34 to the Knights' 48, so not a terrible lead against them. We do have behind enemy lines and deploy teleport Homer, which we should be able to do in this turn. Just need to kind of refamiliarize myself with where the actual deployment zones are. We should be able to get that, or at least get into behind enemy lines with 1. In the command phase, the call put this Helvrin up to 2 wounds, or not wounds, 2 tokens on him. And then with that, we don't have anything else to do. So we are just going to go ahead and move with the few models left. end of the movement phase for the Leagues of Votann. We've moved the Hearthguard over here, basically hide behind this building. That way they're an asset that I have able to move out and at least take some shots against the Errant in the last turn. Probably not going to do much for the rest of the game, but want to try to have them hidden and hopefully be able to move on to this objective if the two Berserkers die. Moved the Land Fortress up a bit and healed it flat 3 wounds since I still have the assistant. And then the Hall and his attached warriors have moved into the deployment zone of the Knights. They're not wholly within, so they're not going to get me behind enemy lines, but I do have deployed teleport homer that I can do with them. They're going to be doing deploy teleport homer. The 2 Berserkers are just going to kind of be sitting there. They're going to be a counterpunch to maybe use. And then the only things that are going to be shooting are the Land Fortress and the Ironmaster into that 1 wound Helverin. So with that being said, shooting phase is going to be very, very quick. I'll try the heavy magna rail cannon into the Errant, but everything else is just going to go into the Armiger. So we're going to have 6 attacks from the twin bolt cannons on 3s. And then those 6s will be 1 sustained hit, since the bolt cannons have sustained hits 1 naturally. 5s to wound. 4s to wound. Re-rolling thanks to Twin Linked. And then that's going to be this many at AP -1. So 4 up saves will most definitely kill the Helverin. Does he explode? He does not. So that is 1 of the Knights done. And then 1 shot from the Magna Rail Cannon on a 3. Then strength 18, so wounding on a 2. Makes it. We'll try to rotate, so we will rotate here for the big knight. So 4 up invuln makes it, even without the rotate. That'll also be the end of the turn. I'm not going to try to charge in anywhere. So I've killed 1 of the knights. So that'll help for the primary at the end of turn. Deploy teleport homer. I will get 5 victory points. And behind enemy lines, I'm probably not going to do anytime soon. So I'll hold on to it just because it's some points that I know that I can get. So 5 points, bringing the Votann up to 39 at the end of turn 4. Turn 5 with the Knights, and I've done the command phase and the movement phase off camera. We got 4 points on the primary for holding 1 objective. Our secondaries are deploy teleport homer and extend battle lines. So extend battle lines, I'm going to get deploy teleport homer. I'm going to get, since I am within the deployment zone of the Votann, that's my understanding, you just have to have at least part of your base or model inside of the deployment zone to be within, since it does not specify wholly within. So that'll get me the 5 there and 5 there. So that's going to be 10 points on secondaries regardless of what I do. And then all I want to do is have some fun by killing up this land fortress. So the Aaron's going to put everything he's got into the land fortress. We'll do the stubber into the call squad as well. So we'll just do the stubber real quick for 6 shots on 3s. 5s. So just 1 wound at -1 will be 1 wound taken, so we'll take 1 wound. Then the thermal cannon into the land fortress. Keep wanting to say land raider. Just the 2 shots, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll keep that. Hitting all on 3s. Rerolling my 1s. Oof, only get hit once. Then strength 12. So on a 4. We'll reroll that. Nope. Yeah, there's no reason that I would get that. Yep. All right, then the 3 rocket pod shots on 3s. I am targeting the closest eligible target. That will be 3 of my hits. Strength 8, toughness 12, so 5s. 1 of them, 2 of them. At -2 AP, I have spent the CP for -1 AP, so this will be a 3-up save. Alright, so 1 of them will go through for D6 damage. 3 damage, so brings it back down to 7. And then that is it for the shooting phase. Charge phase. Charge in with the errant. Got the Reaper Chainsword. We'll do the strikes. 4 attacks on 3s. All hit. Strength 14, toughness 12, so 3s to wound. 3 wounds at -4 AP, so 6 up. Make 1 fail 2. 6 damage a time is 12 damage on a 7 wound model. And then Deadly Demise, he does not blow. So that is going to be the land fortress taken off finally. So that is going to be the end of the turn for the Knights. So, like I said, got 10 points for the secondaries, bringing me up to 62. I just killed a unit, so got 4 points there. Didn't kill more, so no bonus there. The Votann will go up 4 points to 43, but I think this might be about it. Yes, unfortunately, it looks like we are not going to be able to make it back, even though we definitely finally started showing our potential lethality with Votann in those later turns. So going through the cards and looking at what's possible, we still had behind enemy lines and bring it down. Finally, could have gotten bring it down earlier. Oh well. So the final score, just playing out turn 5 off camera, is going to be a total of 47 to the Votann and 78 to the Knights. So they got Defend Stronghold and Secure No Man's Land. So Defend Stronghold, still have my objective. Secure No Man's Land, just need to stay there with the errant and basically move this Warglaive back. Get those points. And then I'm assuming I killed something, probably the Calls unit, which would also get me my oath, but don't really care about that because all it does is give you CP at this point. And in turn 5, what am I going to do with probably, 4, 5 CP? So that is going to be the game. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Helps make sure my videos get to more people. And for that, I will see all you folks on the next battlefield of the 41st Millennium.